What is going on, guys? Chip here. Welcome back to another Pokemon TCG retro deck profile video. You guys showed a ton of support on the last one of these videos I did, so I definitely wanted to make another one, and I hope to make a lot more in the future. So if you guys like these videos, definitely leave a like down below. Let me know that you want to see some more of these type of videos from me. But last time we took a look at the World Championship winning deck from 2005, which was Jeremy Marin's Queendom deck. And today we're going to be looking at Bombtar, which is the second place deck from that same year, from 2005, that Ross Cowthon used to get second place. So I've got both of the decks from the Masters Finals. I'll probably try to do a match or something like that to record and put up on the channel if you guys want to see something like that. Definitely let me know. We could see like a 2005 Worlds rematch, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and look at this Dark Tyranitar deck, affectionately called Bombtar, for the use of Electrode EX, which we will talk about here in just a second. So let's go ahead and start off with the main attacking evolution line. We've got 3 copies of Larvitar, 2 copies of Dark Pupitar here. I guess we should just mention real quick, Dark Streak here. On Dark Pupitar, flip a coin if heads, your opponent's active, or the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed, so definitely something we could see being used at some point in a game. Always good to have those access to those paralysis options. And then 3 copies of Dark Tyranitar here with 3 attacks. You don't see that all that often, 3 attacks on a Pokemon, but all 3 of these attacks are very, very good. We've got Grind here, does 10 more damage times the amount of energy on Dark Tyranitar, and we've got things like Scramble Energy that can add a ton of energy to us for a single turn if we're behind on prizes. So Grind can do a lot. We've also got Spinning Tail here for a Dark into Colorless, does 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. So good way to spread some damage out. We do have some ways to devolve Pokemon in this deck. We'll talk about that. But just spreading some damage, setting up knockouts, and maybe even setting up devolve plays to take multiple knockouts on a turn. And then we do also have a Bite Off here, 70 damage. If the defending Pokemon is a Pokemon EX, it does 50 more damage. So 120. It does cost 5 energies to use, but 120 damage is a lot on a defending EX Pokemon. A lot of EX Pokemon had 120 or less back in the day. There were several that had 150, but that was usually the higher end there. So Bite Off we can definitely use. We do have that hefty 5 energy cost, but we can get that powered up very quickly using this 2/2 Electrode EX line. Electrode EX has the extra energy bomb Poke Power. Once during your turn before you attack, you may discard Electrode EX and all cards attached to it. This counts as knocking out Electrode EX. If you do, search your discard pile for 5 energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way that you like. So we can get a ton of energy in play in one single turn, so that Dark Tyranitar can just start hitting for a bunch of damage. And we could also potentially use Crush and Burn in this deck. You may discard as many energy cards attached to your Pokemon as you like. This attack does 30 damage plus 20 more damage for each energy you discard in this way. So we can definitely use Crush and Burn to do some damage. But the idea here is, yes, we do give up 2 prizes to knock out Electrode in order to use that extra energy bomb, but we're using Scramble Energies, which we can only activate when we're behind on prizes. So it gets us behind on prizes so that we can make a huge Tyranitar that can just take a bunch of knockouts at once, or even like potentially setting up 2 Dark Tyranitars to just sweep through the rest of the game. So there's the main part of the Pokemon line. We do have a bunch of different support options. Ross played a bunch of support Pokemon here. We'll talk about each of these as we get to them. We've got Dunsparce here, one of the best setup Pokemon for this format. With that Strike and Run attack, you could attack on the very first turn of the game in this format. So with just 1 energy, if you start Dunsparce, you can use Strike and Run, search your deck for up to 3 basic Pokemon, and put them onto your bench. Shuffle your deck afterwards, and then you may switch Dunsparce with one of the benched Pokemon. So just getting our evolution setup. We are an evolution-based deck, so being able to Dunsparce, Strike and Run, get down some Larvitars, get down some Voltorbs, even getting down some of the support Pokemon that we'll talk about here in a minute can be very good. We've also got a Magmar here from EX Team Rocket with the Dump and Draw attack. Discard up to 2 energy cards from your hand, then draw 2 cards for each energy card you discarded in this way. So just good extra draw support for us at the beginning of the game, and then also gets energies in the discard pile for us to use extra energy bomb. And we also have one Jirachi here from EX Deoxys with the Wishing Star Poke Power. Once during your turn, if it is your active Pokemon, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose one of them, put it into your hand, but then Jirachi does go to sleep. So a good way to get set up, once again, just helping us look at the top 5 cards and getting whatever we need. We also have a 1/1/1 Pidgeotto, or Pidgeotto Pidgeot line. Pidgeot, of course, with that quick search ability, or excuse me, quick search Poke Power. I still have a hard time saying that, but or getting the two confused. But the quick search Poke Power, once during your turn, before you attack, you may choose one card from your deck and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. You can only use one quick search power per turn, so that's kind of interesting here that Ross did choose to do the 1/1/1 line. A lot of decks ran 2/1/2 just to have the consistency of getting out Pidgeot, but I guess Ross did the testing and determined that this was enough. And then we do, to round out the support Pokemon, have a 1/1 Slugma Magcargo line. Magcargo with that smooth over Poke Power. Once during your turn before you attack, you can search your deck for a card and put it on top of your deck. Or shuffle your deck and then put it on top of your deck. So good synergy with Jirachi's Wishing Star Poke Power, and also just can help us get our draws set up for the rest of the game. There was Team Rocket's admin, so a decent way to disrupt. So you don't always get to keep the card you put on top if you're waiting till the next turn, but just a really good, solid consistency option. So there is the Pokemon. Obviously, we're going to be trying to get attacks off with Dark Tyranitar as often as we can. We've got all our support Pokemon here. And moving on, we will take a look at the supporters we have. We do have 4 copies of Celio's Network. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon or an evolution card. Show it to your opponent and put it in your hand. One of the main ways to search out Pokemon. This is going to be great to help us find our evolutions, to get Dark Tyranitar in play, to get Electrode in play, to get Pidgeot out. If we have Pidgeot in play already, we have Celio's, and then we can Celio's for Pokemon and then Pidgeot for a rare candy to get some stuff set up. So lots of good synergy here. We do have 3 copies of Copycat. So a pretty powerful draw supporter. We've seen this in a lot of formats in the past, and it's almost always been played in every format that it exists in. Shuffle your hand into your deck, then count the number of cards in your opponent's hand, and then draw that many cards. So if your opponent does build up some pretty large hand sizes, you can use Copycat to kind of get a bunch of cards back yourself. We also have 2 copies of Rocket's Admin. If you play nowadays, you definitely will recognize this card because it has the same effect almost as N. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck and then draws up to the number of prize cards they have remaining, and you have to draw the number of prize cards. Rocket's Admin, you could actually choose to not draw that many cards, which is probably not very relevant ever, but I guess in a deck out scenario, if you were close to decking out, you could use Rocket's Admin. If you have 6 prizes left, you can say, nah, I'm gonna draw 1 card instead of 6 cards, so that way you keep yourself from decking out maybe, but yeah, Rocket's Admin there. Finishing out the supporters, we do have 2 copies of TV Reporter. Draw 3 cards, then discard 1 card from your hand. Another good way for us to discard energy to use with extra energy bomb. And then 1 copy of Steven's Advice. Really solid draw supporter. If you have, sorry, I was reading the second part before I read the first part. Draw a number of cards up to the number of Pokemon, of your opponent's Pokemon in play. If you have more than 7 cards, including this card, you cannot play this card. So pretty solid draw supporter. Lots of set up Pokemon in this format, so there will always be a big bench on our opponent's side of the field. Dunsparce was extremely popular, so if they use Strike and Run, they put 3 Pokemon on their bench, this instantly becomes a draw 3 card, or draw 4 if you count the active, so yeah, Steven's Advice definitely very powerful. And then moving on to some of the Team Rocket secret machines here, we do have 4 copies of POW Hand Extension, pretty cool option here. Move 1 energy card attached to the defending Pokemon to another of your opponent's Pokemon, or switch one of your opponent's benched Pokemon with one of the defending Pokemon. Your opponent chooses the defending Pokemon to switch. So kind of an interesting card here. You've got 2 options here, moving some energy back to disrupt what your opponent is trying to make happen with their energy attachments, or you can kind of get a gust effect by getting them to switch a card to the active. I should mention, a lot of these cards will say things like one of your opponent's active Pokemon. There was a rule set back in the day for a doubles format. It was mostly just a for fun format, played at League. I don't think there was ever really any competitive tournaments in the doubles format for these cards, but that's the reason that the cards will say one of your opponent's active Pokemon as opposed to both active Pokemon, so that's kind of interesting. We might do a video on a doubles format at some point down the road. I don't have any decks for that format, but it would definitely be fun to check out. We do have 3 copies of Swoop Teleporter here. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon, excluding Pokemon EX, and switch it with one of your basic Pokemon in play, also excluding Pokemon EX. Any cards attached, special conditions, all that stuff stay the same, and all effects remain on the active Pokemon. So this is the same thing as Ninja Boy, but it is not a supporter. It is an item card, which means we can play it in addition to a supporter, which actually makes it pretty strong. And yeah, this card definitely saw a lot of play. It makes a lot of sense. Once we use Dunsparce Strike and Run once, it's really not that useful anymore. We can swoop into a Larvitar and then evolve, since that Pokemon has been in play, into a Tyranitar, something like that. Swoop into Voltorb. We can swoop out a Magmar into something else. Like, there's just so many uses for the card. And then we also have 3 copies of Rare Candy. You guys should know what this card does. Choose one of your basic Pokemon, and if you have the Stage 1 or Stage 2, you can evolve it when you play this card. You could use this card on the first turn, and you can use it to go into a Stage 1, so we could in one turn go Voltorb, Rare Candy into Electrode, and yeah, just go from there. And then we also have 1 copy of Pokemon Retriever, rounding out the items. This is the same thing as Rescue Stretcher we have nowadays. You can search your discard pile for 1 Pokemon, show it to your opponent, put it in your hand, or search your discard pile for 3 Pokemon, show them all to your opponent, and shuffle them back into your deck. And then we have 1 copy of Ancient Technical Machine Rock with the Stone Generator attack. The way these cards worked, you could attach them to one of your evolved non-EX Pokemon. So Dark Tyranitar can use it, Pidgeot can use it, and Magcargo all can use Ancient Technical Machine Rock. And then Stone Generator, if your opponent has any evolved Pokemon in play, remove the highest evolution stage and put it into their hand. So this is one of the ways I talked about we can take multiple knockouts in a single turn. We use Spinning Tail, there we go, to do 20 damage to each Pokemon in play, and then can clean up with a Stone Generator later on down the road and take multiple knockouts in a single turn. Moving on to the energy, kind of running out of space here, but we'll make them fit here on the side. We've got 2 copies of Rainbow Energy, so that way we can use, you know, all of the additional attacks in the deck. We could potentially use Combustion here with Magcargo. We could use the Flame Tail with Magmar, and also, so we can use Crush and Burn. The main reason it's here is so we can potentially use Crush and Burn to do a lot of damage that way. So Electrode EX can be a good attacker. We've got 4 copies of Darkness Energy. Of course, going to boost the damage that the Dark Pokemon it's attached to by 10. So great on Dark Tyranitar, boosting the damage so we do even more. We've got 4 copies of Heal Energy. Excuse me, guys. And these are reverses from EX Deoxys, which are the most annoying cards to deal with. They curve so badly. The holofoil pattern, the reverse holofoil pattern from the EX Deoxys is just, it's really bad, guys. As you can see, it's like really badly curved up. So it kind of stinks when you're shuffling the deck. They kind of stack together, but it's something you have to kind of deal with when you're playing these older decks. I want to try to get some more non-holos, but when I got these cards at the time, I could really only find a good deal on reverse holo, so I figured I'd go ahead and pick them up. But anyway, Heal Energy, it provides a colorless energy. When you attach it from your hand to a Pokemon, you can heal a special condition affecting that Pokemon, so that is definitely pretty good. As you guys know, the deck that did win Worlds that year had a poisoning effect. Nidoqueen's first attack lets you poison and place 2 damage counters instead of 1 between turns before the poison. And then to round the deck out, we do have 4 copies of Scramble Energy, also a reverse holo, also very badly curved and really, really annoying to deal with, but it is what it is. Scramble Energy does provide 3 energy of every type, but it can only be attached to an evolved non-EX Pokemon, so we can't attach it to Electrode, can't attach it to Larvitar, or actually, let me double check. Yeah, isn't an evolved Pokemon, you have to discard it. That's what I thought, sorry. As you guys know, I didn't play back during this time, so I still kind of get a little shaky on some of the rulings. But yes, you cannot attach it to a basic, and you cannot attach it to an EX. If you do, then it just gets discarded. So that wastes your attachment for turn, so you definitely don't want to do that. But if you are behind on prizes, it does give you 3 energy of any type, so that's why it's very, very good on Dark Tyranitar. That 5 energy attack becomes very manageable with Scramble Energy, and then also Grind for the first attack. If we have like 2 Scramble Energies attached, that's 6 energies using with Grind. We could even, we could get all 4 Scramble Energies onto a Dark Tyranitar in one turn. to have a total of 12 energies attached to this guy to hit for 120 damage for just one attack. And that's pretty strong, not gonna lie. But you do put all of your scramble energies on one guy and you're 2 prizes behind. So if that gets knocked out, you're kind of in a bad spot. But there you go, guys. This is the 2005 Bomb Tar list that Ross Cowthon used to get second place at the 2005 World Championships. Let me know what you guys think about this deck. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm definitely excited to play some games with this. I think that the Queendom matchup is pretty tough. Queendom was definitely very strong. It does hit for weakness. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think down below. And let me know if you want to see a battle video between some of the 2005 decks coming up soon on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Leave a like, as always, if you enjoyed. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, take care.